practically speaking, you have a guy out there who's had some injuries over the last year in Galen Rupp, but who's also run fast and has won a major, finished runner-up in a major, has an Olympic medal, and he dropped out after 25K. And I don't know if we're going to see Rupp be able to get back to the 2021 form. I'm really curious to see if he's got one more in him or two more good ones in him. Because not only does he need to get back to that to be in contention, he's got to go beyond that if he wants to win. He can, if he gets back to that spot, yeah, he can pick up some top fives and stuff. But for Rupp to win a major marathon now, he's got to climb back to where he was and then go beyond that, because we know how deep the event as a whole is. And I know he got second in the Chicago field, but there was a lot of good guys who were not in Chicago that year.
I'm kind of moving towards the side that there's not another good one in him. Like,
yeah, you think that 2021 will be his last year?
Yeah, I don't see 2023 being anything. I mean, if he's not able to do it now, I don't think he's going to be able to get into form by April. I mean, he's probably going to run Boston, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll probably do Chicago or something like that. It's weird to think about it, but like, I don't think we're going to have like a Shalane Flanagan type moment where you kind of win at the end of your career. I think Galen might have, obviously his best days are behind him because of how great he was in 2012 and 2016. And that's a long time ago. 2012 was 10 years ago. It's a long time.
Yeah.
It's a different athlete now.
It's when you started covering the sport.
Yeah, it's when I started covering the sport. Man, that joke will never go down. It's all because you just said I covered the sport for 10 years, and it's not true. I covered the sport for 10 years. You said I've only watched the sport for a decade.
People are too literal. I said a decade. I didn't mean actually like only a decade. Anyway, go ahead. I got us off track. I apologize.
Yeah. But yeah, I think if I were a betting man, which I am, I would bet that we won't see another top 3 performance by Galen Rupp at a major.
Top 3?
I'm going to say I don't think he'll make the 2024 team.
Mance, and then 2 others. TBD.
Yeah. Man, I don't think it'll be. I think the odds of Galen being healthy in 2024 are not good.
Yeah. He had all those years where he was never injured.
Yeah.
You never heard about a Galen Rupp injury. He was very durable. And then all of a sudden, and this happens with age, he had the Achilles problem, had to have surgery, now the issues with the back. I just think the standard keeps getting raised every single year too. So you go back to 21, and 21, it looked like, okay, he's free and clear of the Achilles situation, gets second in that race in Chicago. That was a good run, but that was still second again against a field that obviously didn't have Kipchoge, but there was a number of other people in there who would go into your top 10. The reason I don't want to count it all the way out is because you should never know how a field is going to get put together.
Yeah.
But I also think that the watered down fields post-pandemic are gone now. And now we're in the era of, we're back to every marathon being in its proper season again, which means you're going to have more and more of the power players lining up. But if you're saying he's got to run 206 to run that, or be in 206 shape, again, that means he's got to get back up to where he was before. I don't see it either.
Yeah. Maybe I'm being a little too hyperbolic by saying he's not going to make the U.S. team, because when you do look at it, the U.S. men, it's not a hard team to make for Galen. So even 80% Galen probably could still get at least a top 3 finish at the Olympic trials.
Yeah.
But Mance will be on it. And then there's 2 more spots. It's going to be a surprise person. It's probably Abdi Abdirahman. It's always Abdirahman.
Abdirahman.
Abdirahman. But you know what I'm saying.
Abdirahman.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah.
Apologies.
Well,
and then,
it's funny you bring up
wild card.
It's funny. It's funny you bring up his name though, right? Because if you look at Rupp just through the perspective of Olympic cycles, you have the early one that you make, then you have the prime ones where he's winning the trials. Obviously, wins it in LA in 16, then wins it again in Atlanta, dominates. Maybe though he will have that one last ride type of trials
Be like a
race. Like
med
now,
type thing. Yeah.
yeah, or Abdi, who has had 4 or 5 last rides, or even, I mean, Legat, I guess, won that year in 2016 in the 5K, and that was a crazy race. But will he? I think the question, a more interesting question than how is he going to finish at the majors, because I think that's pretty clear at this point, is the trials question. But we're just so far away, and 2 years is forever in the marathon. I don't know what that
Yeah.
would be. And who do you feel really good in 2 years that Mance is going to be solid? I do. Can you say that about anybody else? How they're going to be in
No.
2 years? No, not really.